We are indeed with Awonder Liang. Awonder, first of all, congratulations. A very tense finish for you in this game against Hans, but a successful campaign here at the USJ Championships.
Yeah, I think the tournament overall went really well by my standards, and I think I started out with this loss against Elshan in round 2, but after that I went undefeated, +3 with white. So yeah, really way more than anything I could have expected. Going in, I just kind of wanted to finish in the middle of the pack, like maybe with an even score. But yeah, somehow my opponents kept giving me these chances, and I didn't even like take all of them. But yeah, I mean, what I had was my best U.S. championships ever, and like I don't know, it's just really quite surreal at this moment.
And how is homework going on nowadays? I wonder, did you catch up with your schoolwork?
No, we're behind quite a bit, but yeah. We can talk about that at a future time. right now, I'd really rather not think about it.
No confessions.
It's too depressing.
Absolutely, but your professors must be quite happy with the way you have performed here. And you were mentioning at the beginning of the show when we had our first interview that you were in close contact with some of your professors.
Right. I have a professor friend that studies chess, but unfortunately he's not one of my professors in the classes I'm taking. So I haven't been getting a lot of slack from the professors that grade my work, but it's fine, yeah.
How about today's game? Hans came up with this idea of queen to e2. Did you expect this, or?
No, yeah, I mean, I was quite scared for today's game because I think Nepo had this observation that Hans typically likes to announce his comebacks before he makes them. Then 3 days ago, he announced that he was about to make a comeback. Then I see he wins 3 in a row, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm playing him in the last round. Like, what's going on here? And yeah, I knew he just wanted to get a big fight. Like, I'm lower rated than him, and like, okay, I think what he got was probably not the greatest position. Mm-hmm. But basically, he wanted to keep it close and avoid a lot of trades. Mm-hmm. I think. Just like for this event, like my strategy has sort of been to keep the positions relatively simple. I think like in the whole tournament, I've probably only played like 2 or 3 middle games, actual middle games. Most of my games go like straight to the end game, and I think it's helped me conserve energy and just like I blunder less with schoolwork and all of that. So it's kind of my strategy going into the tournament. But here, like I thought, like okay, his position is so bad that like I don't even care if it's like a complicated middle game. But I think like his strategy really worked out because I like blundered almost immediately. I think maybe, yeah, somewhere around the middle, maybe after f4.
Let's take a look at what the
if you go back,
is. Oh my
no.
goodness! I think I've done.
Wow.
Okay, got it. No, I blundered. Okay, let's look at your board. Because this is gonna take a while.
Oh, fix it. Okay, Awonder, we were talking about. You needed to make...
Yeah, I think like this queen d7, queen c7 was a little sloppy, first of all. Like probably even queen c7 immediately because I think f5 is not even such a big threat. And then, yeah, I thought here maybe...
We're back.
You're back.
Okay.
That was fast.
I thought here maybe, yeah, instead of queen d7, like, okay, I can just go queen c7 immediately.
Instead of queen d7 at 15. What point? All the way here.
Yeah. And then, okay, like, he can do the same thing, like play knight of 3, but queen c7. Because I went like queen d7, queen c7.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, okay, here I have like f5 ideas, or even like what I had in the game with f6 is not so bad. But I sort of just allowed his knight to come to e1, which I just missed. And yeah, here, yeah, I definitely should have just went bishop f7 or something like this after knight h4. At least it's more consistent with my plan. And the idea is like f5, g5, I lock up, or if he goes f5, then I have g5, knight f3, b5, and I think I'm quite fast on the queen side.
Yes.
At least this was kind of my impression.
It feels like it. Yeah.
And
take on b5,
yeah, okay,
knight
it's quite
a5,
complicated,
knight
but
b3.
I was feeling good here. But yeah, after g5, like, okay, he looked at me a little funny, like, okay, it's kind of typical for him to do it. I realized, like, oh crap, he has this knight f5. And yeah, sort of, yeah, it was kind of my nightmare because, like, I wasn't focusing so well throughout this event, and basically I just immediately blundered. Yeah, and here again, I thought I should go bishop h7 instead of bishop g6. Because
I think
game,
that was
like, he got
bishop
hit.
g6 was probably pretty decent.
Okay, yeah, again, like, I didn't realize.
Bishop h7 was fine as well.
Yeah, I think.
Not a big change.
I didn't see bishop takes d3. That's actually a horrendous miss. But I think, it's been quite typical of my play this event where, like, I think I'm quite fine if the position's very simplified, like we get into some sort of endgame. But yeah, in these middle games, like my form is really just terrible. Like I'm blundering everything.
Which you guys kind of did at this point, right?
But yeah, here I kind of felt like I was fine. Like there's quite a bit of compensation for the pawn, and yeah, I mean it's a normal position. Like I think with the two bishops, I thought even I could get a little ambitious. But
Yep.
yeah, we just traded everything, and I think he defended this well. And then okay, I had to find some accurate moves, and it was more or less normal.
Awonder, congratulations for your performance, guys. Any questions for Awonder?
Yes. Well, first of all, again, congratulations to you, Awonder. I watched you struggling at the U.S. Junior Champion. You come in as the wild card, and you play like you belong. What was the difference between your play in the U.S. Junior and your play in the U.S. Championship? You played really good here.
Yeah, no, I think there's kind of a few big differences. I think in the juniors, first of all, I had 5 blacks, and like a lot of my black games were against some of the stronger players, and I really felt like I needed to push in those games, and it was quite difficult because like some of these juniors, like they're really strong, and I learned that the hard way, unfortunately. Of course, I had like my fair share of blunders, but I think yeah, in the juniors, I sort of didn't really come in with the right strategy. I was playing all these very complicated middle games. Some of them I was getting tactically outplayed, and some of them like I just blundered really badly in the late stage. And here I thought like I don't really feel like I'll have enough energy to play really long games every game, or just like these complicated positions where I need to think a lot. And I decided like I made some changes to my opening repertoire. So like first of all, with white I had like several contingencies just in case there was schoolwork or I was really busy. Like basically I couldn't force a draw with white against any player. And with black, like basically, yeah, I wanted to make sure that like I kept it really simple. As I said, like a lot of endgames, a lot of very simple chess, so that like I knew that in these sort of complicated positions that I have a tendency to just blunder a lot, just because I'm quite rusty, and you know, like mentally, I didn't feel like I would have enough energy, especially late in the tournament. But yeah, what ended up happening in this event, at least, was yeah, I think I outprepared my opponents in nearly every game, and I got like the simplified positions that I felt like I could play really well, and yeah, luckily, you know, I managed to avoid at least the worst blunders. I think, especially some of the late games, I did start blundering a little bit, but yeah, the positions were well within the boundaries of at least equality, so it didn't end up that badly.
Sounds like you really did a lot of work on your openings, and you achieved the type of positions you wanted. Anastasia, any questions for Awonder? A great performance.
Yes. I just wanted to ask which game you are proud of the most after this event. Which game you like the most?
Yeah, probably the game against Fabiano, I think, is basically my best game of the event. I mean, obviously I made plenty of mistakes, but it's probably been the most difficult. It was the most difficult game of my life because like just the amount of pressure that you face. Even like I got like all my preparation basically, and like the engine said like 000s after it. So I was like, okay, like with this Petrov, like it's amazing. But like then you start to feel like, you know, these 2750, 2800 guys, like they put so much pressure, and like just to be able to defend that position for so long and after 5-6 hours, like that's probably the best game I've ever played in my life. Even I mean, not like from an objective standpoint, but just like, I mean, like it's hard to describe. Like when you're like seeing across the board from this guy, like it's just so intense. It's like the most difficult game I've ever played, and I was definitely lost at some point or like several points. But yeah, even just to hold that, like I don't know. After the game, I felt so tired. I couldn't even like move or anything. Like I just laid in my bed for a few hours. I had this like minor headache. It was just such a tough game, and yeah, I was very glad that I managed to hold that.
This is when you play against Fabiano. This is what happens actually, yes. But I'm so surprised and even kind of shocked that you didn't pick up the game against Levon, but you picked this game.
Yeah.
Yes, it also shows something, let's say, about the way you think.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good game against Levon, but yeah, again, like going into the tournament, I had like 4 players, which like I was just trying to hold against, and like, you know, like Fabiano, Levon, Wesley, and Dominguez, and I felt, yeah, against Levon, like basically I played this very solid line, and he could have forced a draw, but yeah, okay, he over pushed basically, or he really felt like he wanted to get a game. So I don't feel like it's as much of an achievement from my part, just because I don't know, he like yeah, it was kind of a surprise to win this game. But against Fabiano, like just yeah, I just felt so tired after this game. Like, yeah, it's probably really one of the best games I've ever played.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Once
And all the
again,
best of luck.
our congratulations to you, Awonder. Very, very nice result indeed. Let's jump immediately to the game of Ray Rob.